Hello everyone, and welcome back to Bugs Bunny Lost in Time. I am one more sheep yet again, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we are entering a brand new world of the game, and this pad by here, get used to seeing those during the course of the game. Those are our superpowers that we get to unlock during the course of the experience. We are now in the pirate years, and it's time for the most tedious, well, one of the most tedious levels in the game. Not the most, but one of the most. I don't like the stage that much.
Hey, what's up, Doc?
This here's mine. Come back here, you mangy, mutineering rabbit!
Get 5 of these objects to receive a clock symbol.
You heard Merlin, and those clock symbol objects, the Acme boxes, are basically going to be the replacement for the golden carrots in the first tutorial stage of the game. So we need to pick up those Acme boxes whenever Merlin pops on by and telling us to do so, and we get carrots for it. Basically, it's just an extra collectible to keep an eye out for during these stages. That's all it really is. But yeah, what's up, Doc? As I mentioned earlier, I don't like this stage that much. And the big reason why is just because it is an absolutely terribly long level. It's just really tedious to get through with not really much interesting going on for the most part, which is strange because it's a pirate stage. You'd think a pirate stage you can do lots of interesting things with, but yeah, the stage doesn't necessarily do too many interesting things. Later levels in this world are actually pretty damn fun, but this first one is a very bad introduction to the pirate world, and honestly, it's a good thing I decided to continue playing past this level back in the day when I was a kid, because otherwise I probably would never have really gotten into this game properly, because this is such a turn-off point. No, I don't like the stage, basically. It's just ugh. But anyway, it gets up to these chests by here, and we need to play a bit of a not side game, what's it called? The game where you need to follow the thingy. Basically, you need to follow the thingy to grab the clock. That's all you really need to do. I don't know what that type of game is actually called. I forget what it's called. Swapping game, maybe? I don't know. But yeah, this stage, for the most part, you just got loads of... it's all on docks, you know, ladies and gentlemen, hence the name, What's Up Docks. So, there's very little platforming really to do, with the exception of maybe dealing with a bunch of boxes and what have you, and there's just not much in the way of anything interesting going on. Of course, I do like the background. I love the sunset background, but that looks stunning. Even by PlayStation 1 standards, that looks pretty damn good, even though I can probably do the same effect in Adobe Photoshop these days, but you know, it's a thing. It exists, you know, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, what you want to do by here is actually you want to try and grab hold of these boxes in order to grab and jump up here. And while it looks like I'm failing to and I need to grab the second box in order to jump up to the top there, I don't need the second box. I can get up there with one box, but it's a little bit tricky to do so. And I want to destroy the Acme box first. There we go. So yeah, you can get up to these ledges and stuff with just one box, even though it looks like you can't. You can do it. And the big sort of thing you need to really pay attention to when you're dealing with boxes is, I think you jump a bit higher if you don't press the analog stick forward. So whenever you're trying to jump up on top to a really high platform, just let go of the analog stick and then move the analog stick forward as you started to jump. Then you'll be able to get forward a bit more. And hey, a clock! Clocks are usually found in those big blue boxes, so boxes? The chests. Well, I guess a chest is like a glorified box, isn't it? So, basically, whenever you come across a blue chest, there's a very high chance that there's going to be a clock symbol inside there for you to collect, you know, ladies and gentlemen? So, yeah, keep an eye out for those. They're handy. And of course, if you recall back in the tutorial stage, we did have to do a little thing involving throwing, and I didn't really explain the throwing mechanics all that well, but basically you hold down the R1 button in order to pick up an object that is throwable, for example this pearl from that clam, and then you just press the square button in order to chuck it at an object, and generally the auto aim is pretty damn good, it's pretty damn spot on for the most part. Like, there's only one real issue you may run into when it comes to chucking things at something else, which is pretty much end-game content, which I'll talk about when I get to it. But yeah, for the most part, it's pretty damn fun. But we do have a new gameplay mechanic unfolded to us by here. These are the torches. Torches can be picked up and held for a limited amount of time, and we can use them to light things such as that dynamite. And I don't like that dynamite. That is a loud dynamite. That explosion hurts my ears. I'm always scared that it's going to damage my speakers when I'm playing this on the TV. It's just, it's way too damn loud. But yeah, you do need to make use of the torches, and that's probably the biggest thing you're going to see that's new in this world in particular, is just those torches. Of course, as you can probably tell by the shadows on the ground, if you recall the anvils and whatnot that can hurt us if we land underneath them, the enemies can be affected by them as well. So if you know what you're doing, you can lure an enemy onto a shadow and get them crushed by an anvil, or in the case of this world, an anchor, which it's an easy way to take them out, which I appreciate, to tell you that much. Alright. Hey, a lone treasure chest. Oh my god, I'm rich. 4 golden carrots. Oh, oh, oh. Oh boy. But yeah, the golden carrots themselves in this game, as I mentioned, they're only really used during the course of the game to unlock extra levels. They're not really all that, they're not really all that mandatory in order to pick up, but if you do want to get 100% completion, and if you do want to unlock those certain bonus levels that are completely skippable if I recall correctly, then you're going to want to pick up as many golden carrots as you can. For the most part, the golden carrots themselves are quite easy to find. They're littered throughout the entirety of the stage. You just need to really keep an eye out for 1 or 2 of them that may catch you off guard. But anyway, moving on by here, ladies and gentlemen, we need to stack up all of these boxes in order to rise on up to the platform, in order to get access to a clock that is inside that blue chest we can see. Well, I say we need to do that. First we need to move over to here, get the Acme box and golden carrot, because of course we can't be missing them. Oh boy. Yeah, honestly, the weakest parts of this game have to be, honestly, the parts where you have to pick up these boxes and stack them up, because it doesn't happen too often, but whenever you see segments like this where you have to stack up all these boxes, they usually outstay their welcome, you know, ladies and gentlemen, and it just slows down the gameplay to an absolute crawl, I think. Bit of a shame, because, you know, I like the game otherwise, but they could have just improved upon this. Like, as you can tell, I can't jump up here with my normal jump, so I do need the box, and basically, I think they should have had some way to speed you up whenever you're carrying boxes and whatnot, you know, ladies and gentlemen. Like, Bugs' normal movement speed is fine. It's perfectly fine for the course of the game, but, you know, whenever I'm trying to get around with actual just moving from point A to point B, your speed just gets cut in half when you're carrying a box. And it's just a shame. I'm like, I want to go faster. Come on, don't you want to go faster, Bugs? Don't you want to go faster? But I digress. Anyway, give me that golden? Give me that clock. Yes, it's so beautiful. Now I can tell the time. But, yeah, I do assure you, the levels do get a lot better as time goes on, you know, ladies and gentlemen. The game does improve. I'm honestly really surprised they just stuck with this level, because the level just sort of outstays its welcome, you know. It's just too many minuscule challenges in quotation marks that don't really take much effort to accomplish, you know, ladies and gentlemen. Also, you can attack this enemy and knock him out. Not all of these guys actually go down that easily. It's a shame. Like, some of them you have to flat out tire up by running around them to take them on, which is a bit annoying. And these crab enemies are also a bit of a pain in the ass. I can't stand these crabs, because I'm just about to jump around and walk around, and suddenly they're gonna just clip me when I least expect it, you know. They're a pain in the ass. I don't like those crabs. Get out of here, shoo. There we go, there goes the crab. Not gonna lie, the actual, when I attack an enemy and send them flying, it sort of reminds me of Crash Bandicoot in a way. Because in Crash Bandicoot, when you spin enemies, they go flying off in the distance as well. And, yeah, I don't know if it's intentionally inspired or not. I really doubt it because of how they go up far away. Because they sort of bounce off into the distance as opposed to your typical just fly off and zoom off. And honestly, I despise it when the carrots themselves actually I despise it when the carrots themselves actually bounce around after you hit an enemy, after you hurt an enemy, because the carrots will drop out of an enemy. You're about to see it now when I break this Apney crate now, and the carrots are just going to start bounce about. Because it's a pain in the ass, because those things actually, you can't collect the carrot until they stop bouncing. So sometimes you'll find that the carrots themselves will stop bouncing around uncontrollably. You're going to try and grab the carrots and you just aren't able to. It's a nightmare, tells you that much. I don't like it. No, sir, I do not. Well, I've been bitching and moaning a lot on this part. I do apologize. Now, I don't want to come across as too negative because I honestly do like this game. It's just this stage really drains me. And this is one of those levels where there's nothing really to talk about. There's nothing really interesting going on. It's... Oh, look, signs, I guess. Now we have to hit 3 signs as opposed to 1. What a shocking difference. You know, ladies and gentlemen, it's just... There's nothing interesting going on in this level. And later down the line in this game as well, we're going to see loads more interesting things actually crop up. Which... I really wish they just... You know, honestly, if this level was scrapped from the entire game, I would have been happy. I honestly would be happy, because it's just boring. And it's kind of weird as well, because it's not boring because it's too easy, because trust me, this stage is challenging, you know. Well, challenging in quotation marks. Like, it's still easy, but... You're not very likely to die very... You know, you can still die and whatnot, and you can still make mistakes, you know. It's easy to make mistakes, that's mainly what I'm getting at. But, despite that, you know, there's nothing really interesting happening. Of course, I do say that now, and we do actually get introduced to a couple of interesting mechanics right away. So, yay, bitching and moaning's over, I guess. So, this guy back here, he's gonna chuck bombs at you. Basically, when the bombs are thrown at you when they're flashing... Avoid them, because they will go boom, and you don't like the kaboom, because the earth-shattering kaboom hurts, so what you're going to want to do is pick up the bombs that he chucks that aren't flashing, and just chuck them back at him, and hurt him a great deal, like so. 3 bombs will do the trick, and he will be slammed right into the water, and he's going to be killed because the shark's in there. Which are a pain in the ass, by the way, because those sharks, if you're trying to platform across each of these barrels, they will jump up and try to nip you. I don't like it when the sharks try to nip me. Like so, it's a pain in the ass, and it always just happens pretty much every time. So what you want to really do is you want to grab one of these bones from this little bone crate box thing, and just chuck it out. Just chuck it out into the sea. And hopefully the shark will go after it, and hopefully the bone will actually end up into the water, because this thing is a pain in the ass to judge because it's an invisible wall. You have to aim around the invisible wall, so you need to know exactly where to stand and where to chuck the bone so it doesn't get too out of range of the shark, so the shark goes and grabs it, and so it also doesn't hit the invisible wall and despawn. And it's a pain in the ass. I can't stand this. Like, is it... Look at that! That's ridiculous! Just chuck the fucking thing! There we go, there we go. Okay, run, bugs, run, run, run! Yeah, I don't like this mechanic. It's an interesting idea, and I like the idea of it, but... It's not very well programmed. I mean, you're lucky half the time if the bone goes the right direction. That death was my entire fault, by the way. Well, kinda my fault. I say kinda my fault because when you're jumping, and if you move the camera, your jumping control freaks out. I'm trying to think of a good way to explain this. If you turn the camera left or the right while you're jumping, and you're holding forward, suddenly forward will be equal to left for some reason. So I'm holding forward, but I will just start turning left, you know, ladies and gentlemen, so it's a pain in the ass. And I find myself just sort of dying just because of these poles, because I always change the camera position and I'm always holding the analog stick up when I'm obviously doing my platforming, because obviously I'm trying to go forward, but the controls just don't work for it, and I end up going into the water below. Honestly, it's not a big deal because the control itself isn't that bad, but it's a little minor annoyance that crops up from time to time. I tell you that much, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, one thing that's kind of interesting by here, ladies and gentlemen, is this mook by here, this enemy. We need to kill him. We need to take this guy down, otherwise we will not be able to progress any further, because this guy is holding a giant wheel thingy. You know those thingies that they use to pilot boats? Yeah, one of those. So just kill him, knock him out whenever he runs out of air, runs out of breath, and he'll drop it, which you can pick up in a bit. But first things first, before I pick that up, I'm going to start igniting these TNTs, because all of these boxes, all of these crates, all of these treasure chests, well, they hold beautiful carrots. Look at the shiny beauty. Look at it. It's so adorable. You know, people who have magpie-like tendencies will love this game. I will be honest. Like, I absolutely adore collecting shiny things in games. It's a big reason why I love Spyro the Dragon. Well, the PS2 Spyro the Dragons, not PS2, the PS1 Spyro the Dragons anyway. I can't... Honestly, most of the Spyro games I haven't really played outside the PS1 games. Like, I know I went into a beat-em-up at one point. Now the Spyro series at the time of this recording's gone into this weird toy-based thing, which I don't like that much. But, you know. One thing I'll actually be praising as well, I love the music. Like, the soundtrack in this game is actually pretty damn good for all things considered. And, I don't really think the soundtrack really gets the praise that this game does. You know, it doesn't get the praise that it really deserves. Because every time I see people talking about this game, they usually say, oh, it's an okay game, not the best, not the worst, which I agree with. But loads of people usually just turn around and they'll say, the soundtrack's kind of meh. And their excuse for it sounding meh is because it doesn't sound very video gamey in a lot of instances. It sounds like an episode of Looney Tunes. And I disagree with that, kind of. Like, it does sound like an episode of Looney Tunes, but they've incorporated the Looney Tunes sort of soundtrack style perfectly into a game universe, you know, I think. So, I don't know, this soundtrack I noticed doesn't really tend to get too much love. And don't get me wrong, it's not the best soundtrack in the world, but, you know, it's a nice listen to. You get some nice jaunty tunes. Like the next world we're going to be visiting, which I believe is the 1930s. You know, that's a pretty good tune. I will praise the soundtrack of this game. It's got some pretty funky beats, I tell you that much. But, yeah. No, past me. Go back, you fool. Go back, you missed the checkpoint. Oh, whatever. I'll just edit out if I die anyway. I say if I die. I know I'm gonna die, so I know for a fact I'm gonna edit. How do I know? Because these playthroughs aren't live. Are you mad? I could do it live, but then I wouldn't be able to make my commentary as interesting, because you'd be surprised how the commentary in these videos works. Like, usually I take about 5 to 6 recording attempts to get a recording that I like, and even then I splice together multiple different recordings in it when I'm doing these LPs. What can I say? I'm pretty picky about my video quality. It's a gift and a curse. I tell you that much. Hell, some people may not even agree that the videos are all that good quality themselves, but of course that's their own opinion, I can't argue that. But I digress. Oh boy, more block shenanigans. You know, one thing I've been I don't know if I can do this, but one thing I was trying to do, but I should say, was, I was trying to use the box, I was trying to land on the treasure chest itself in order to get up to the higher platform, so I wouldn't need to grab this box quickly, but, yeah, I had to grab this, unfortunately, which basically meant I had to speed it up. You know, you're welcome, people. Because I love this game, and I'll praise it to no end, but there's loads of instances where it is a bit slow. It is a bit slower than the average platformer, so I'm probably going to have to speed up certain aspects of this game from time to time. You know, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, jump across here for another clock. That's quite quickly, we're getting all these in succession. A lot of people used to have trouble, I noticed, when I watched some Let's Plays of this game before, and I've seen a couple of people have trouble collecting this clock. Like, for some reason, they couldn't figure out how to do the jump properly, and it's just like I said before, you hold down the X button and you should be able to make it, but, you know, some people struggled with that. But, you know, I want to say it is possible, you know, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, time for a little bit of a gauntlet in massive quotation marks, because these enemies, who are da bomb, by the way, I'm flat lying, they're not a bomb. These enemies are just going to do their usual, I'm going to throw my bomb at you, you throw your bomb back at me, etc, etc, thing we've seen already. But now the only difference is there's 3 of them. Doesn't necessarily make it any more challenging, because they all tackle us one at a time, so this just comes across as filler for the most part. But, so as a result, I just fed it up. Like, honestly, if this was a challenge where all 3 of them threw bombs at once, I think it could have been an interesting challenge, but nope. Instead, they were just like, "Yar, I'm gonna chuck this at you one at a time. We gotta play fair, boys." And it's depressing, what can I tell you? Oh well, anyways, time for a boss battle against Yosemite Sam. And from the get-go, I'm gonna suicide. Alley-oop. I did that for a reason. Because, for one thing, as I think I mentioned this already in one of the previous 2 parts, when you die, there's no penalties. At all. Like, you can die and you just respawn in the same area with a refilled life bar. And that is especially true with the boss fights. Like, you can hurt the boss fights by getting their health lower and lower and lower. And when you die, their health bar will stay at the point it is. So now I've hurt Sam once. His health bar will always stay at 1 damage down, you know, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, suicide is a good tactic if you want to get through these pretty quickly, you know, ladies and gentlemen. But to describe this boss fight itself, it's actually pretty damn easy. From the get-go, he's going to shoot off 2 cannonball shots at you, then he's going to do his usual, "Grr, I'm angry" noise. In which case, he's going to chuck a TNT barrel at you? Yeah, barrel, that's the one. When he chucks his TNT barrel at you, you can pick it up and throw it back at him, which will hurt him for massive damage. When you do hurt him for massive damage, he'll freak out and start shooting seemingly randomly at the actual platforms in the middle of the ocean, sinking them for a short amount of time. But, you know, it's still easy to get through. Just keep rinsing and repeating the same tactic and you get through this without much issue. And if you die, like I said, it's no big deal because there's no penalty. So if you die, you'll just respawn and you can just pop on back in order to attack him even more so, you know, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, now that I think about it, this boss fight reminds me of something.
Watch out, Sonic! Against something that large, you won't have a chance on the soft footholds!
Probably nothing. Probably not a foreshadowing to an LP I'm gonna be tackling in the future. Nope, not at all. Not at all. Jesus Christ, calm down with those explosives, Sam. Jesus. You're not even aiming at me when you do your angry sort of deal, which is a shame because, you know, if he was aiming at me, I'd probably stand no chance because suddenly I'd be like, oh shit, I'm screwed. Well, needless to say, that boss was da bomb. Get it? Because he blew up. Da bomb. No one. Well, I try hard on these jokes, god damn it. Why don't you just appreciate what I give you on this YouTube channel? Stop judging me. But anyway, yeah, that is the end of the stage, thank God, and now we can actually move on to an interesting level, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm pretty damn excited for that, because we're moving on into the next world of the game, which is probably one of my favourite worlds, if not my favourite world, so it's going to be quite interesting, I tells you that much. I tells you that much indeed. Also, every time you finish the stage as well, you'll have Merlin either going, great, just perfect, but you know, you've completed this level. And sometimes he'll say, but you've left some stuff behind you. So that's basically your idea to know if you completed a level or not, if you don't pause the game to check what collectibles you collected. But throughout the course of this playthrough, you'll always see me constantly pausing. And it's not because I'm going anywhere or anything like that. It's purely because I like to check my stats, and when I pause the game, well, it's easy enough for me to check the stats that way, because then they just pop up. But anyway, that's it for this part, ladies and gentlemen, so thank you all for watching, hope you all enjoyed, don't be sheepish, people. Now catch you all next time as we tackle the 1930s in the Big Bank Withdrawal, which is quite a fun stage if I do say so myself. So thank you all for watching, hope you all enjoyed, don't be sheepish, people, I'll catch you all then. Bye!